Hello everyone, this is Mary Ressler and I'm the Components Manager for IFMA. I'd like to thank you all for attending this webinar today brought to us by the Facility Management Consultants Council. Today's webinar is being recorded and everyone has been placed on mute. If you have any questions, you can type them into the chat box. The webinar along with the presentation will be made available afterwards. I'll turn it over to you, Val.
Thank you. My name is Val Moraes, and I'm one of the members of the FM Consultants Professional Development Team. Good morning. Today's Friday morning out here at 6 a.m. in New Zealand, where I'm based. Good morning to you all. Good afternoon, good evening to the rest of the world. Today's topic is sustainability makes financial sense. The vision statement for FM Consultants Council, as you can see on the screen, we are the resource and voice for facility management consultants worldwide to leverage our collective expertise to benefit IFMA members and the facility management profession. Our statement, to serve as a global facility management consultants resource and representative for knowledge sharing, networking and business opportunities in support of our impact upon the built environment and the value to their clients. So we have online resources, Ask the Expert, that you will see on the FM magazine, IFMA magazine, locate a speaker, find a consultant by location and expertise. Our sponsors, we are greatly indebted to our sponsors, without which all these things that we do and today's webinar would not have been possible. So thank you very much. Today's presentation is we have three co-presenters, and they are from the University of Houston. Our moderator today is Mary Ressler. And the title is Sustainability Makes Financial Sense. Logistics for today's presentation. Polls will be used throughout the webinar, Q&A at the end of the presentation, quick survey at the conclusion of the webinar. PowerPoint and recorded webinar will be available online via FMCC's website. And we sincerely appreciate your participation. The learning objectives of today's webinar: retro commissioning has a quick payback, energy savings projects have low product life cycle cost, condensate recovery is free water for HVAC, getting the stakeholder engaged and excited about sustainability is key to its success, and sustainability makes financial sense when used in day-to-day operations with outlook towards life cycle. Our first presenter is Avinash Rahulkar. Avinash is an Associate Director at the University of Houston, 19 years private and public sector experience, and has a long, strong background in engineering and management. He is driven by innovation and relates to sustainability and financial viability. Avinash has a master's degree in management from Kelley School of Business and a master's degree in engineering from the University of Toledo. He is IFMA Certified Facility Management Professional and Sustainability Facilities Professional. Our next co-presenter is Samir Kapileshwari. Samir is currently serving as Interim Executive Director of Facilities Management at the University of Houston. He has 20 years of public and private experience in project management, strategic planning, capital and utility, master planning, organizational management, engineering design, and energy efficiency consulting. Samir also serves on the Building Standards Commission on the City Sugar Land, Texas. Samir has bachelor's and master's degree in mechanical engineering. He's a licensed professional engineer. Our third co-presenter is Michael Briello. Michael is an Assistant Director of Central Plants and HVAC Systems, as well as the FM Sustainability Team Leader of the University of Houston, He has more than 30 years of facilities management experience in both private and public organizations and has a master's degree in management from Memphis State University and a bachelor's degree in industrial engineering from Lafayette College and is an IFMA certified facility management professional. Michael's expertise lies in benchmarking, Kaizen, and opportunity creation for sustainable efforts. I now hand you over to Samir, our first presenter. Thank you.
Thank you, Val, for your kind introductions and for the opportunity to participate in this webinar today. So we will start by looking at some of the common myths we hear about sustainability. I mean, there are many, but some of them highlighted over here are: sustainability costs a lot of money. We can't afford it. Unlike larger organizations, we don't have a dedicated budget, or we need a separate budget. I recycle at home, or we have small program in our organization for recycling. Isn't recycling all about sustainability? Or finally, it's just not practical, especially considering all the other services and the priorities we have to deal with. So what we are going to talk about today is, in 2009, just giving a quick history, in 2009, University of Houston got a grade of almost failing, D grade from Princeton Review for the sustainability efforts. Soon thereafter, we created our Sustainability Task Force Committee and also tried to address what are the items about sustainability we can control within our FM. So today we look into how we tackle some of the above concerns we just saw by creating a culture of empowerment, implementing pilot programs and projects that made business sense, and validating the sustainability ideas and savings. The areas we are going to focus today will mainly include energy, water, and waste management recycling efforts. Finally, how we create and sustain the momentum by engaging the community. So over here now, probably I'm really sorry if most of you may not be able to read all the details in the boxes, but I'm just going to cover some of the high-level areas over here. So similar to most of our program implementation, we start by focusing inwards a little bit. What is in facilities management control? Start within our own team. So all the ideas what we have today or we'll be talking about today, Avinash, Michael and I, are talking about the ground up or a grassroots movement, so let's start with the facilities management perspective. Then we move into the staff and the resource development. So we want to create an environment of empowerment by providing staff with necessary resources to succeed. We want to identify some of the training opportunities. So in our case, what we did was we used IFMA, SSP to get everybody established as a common baseline knowledge, to use that triple bottom line, focusing on the environment, social, and the economic perspectives, so that everybody thinks within the same mind frame. And the staff resource development also focused on identifying some of the hidden gems in our organization who have passion for the sustainability programs or components thereof. And of course, with the staff, we not only focused on the staff we already had, but as we were hiring new staff, we wanted to recruit smarter as well. The next circle we see over here is the program and the projects. So that's one basically where once we know the staff is identified, we want to put the right staff and couple them with the right programs or the projects. So group them so that they can have the success. We want to identify their expertise and the passion so that we can start focusing on the other bullets which we see over here, which is the environmental stewardship, the energy, water and resources, solid waste and recycling, auto and fleet, grounds and procurement. So once we have the staff identified, we group them with the right program and the projects, what are the priorities for your organization. We cannot, of course, ignore it. It is imperative for any success of program that we have the necessary community engagement. And that includes identifying all the stakeholders, identifying and collaboration opportunities, just both within the organization and also outside the organization. For example, benchmarking and sharing the best practices. And whenever we are implementing this program, we want to continue focusing on the education activities and creating the sense of engagement and pride for the community. So this is the pyramid which basically summarizes what we just saw. We start off with the focus on our staff, internal FM staff first, couple them with the right programs and the projects, and finally engage and celebrate with the community. So all the programs and the projects which we identify or have identified in the past, it starts with a simple financial analysis. And again, it doesn't have to be sophisticated software or a person dedicated to do all those things. In our case, we have used simple paybacks, in some cases life cycle costing methods, basically identifying direct saving, indirect saving, any labor or operation savings. For example, if we are just doing equipment replacement like chillers, high efficiency chillers, so we know the direct savings involved with that. If we are doing lighting measures, we know there are direct savings, there are indirect savings for the HVAC. In some cases now we are looking into LEDs and things like that, so that would have some of the operational benefits as well. We try to target all this for the payback just for within our organization of 2 years. So because just like similar to many of the other universities or other organizations, we do not have a separate budget for sustainability activities for energy conservation. So we want to try to accommodate that within our own operation and maintenance dollars. But not only doing that, but also we are actively seeking grants. The first entity which I would recommend would be talk to your local utilities. They have multiple programs which can assist you with getting grants for your sustainability initiatives. And finally comes a bullet of the reinvesting the money from the savings. And if you have a discussion, communication lines open with your administration, then you might have the opportunities to go ahead and reinvest some of the savings which are generated back into the program, so it becomes a self-sustaining entity. So with that said, before Avinash gets into talking a little bit more details about the energy aspect, it's time for a quiz.
So Mary, basically our question is energy utilization index, which is EUI, will never reduce if you keep adding more buildings. So you guys get a chance to respond and see if it's true or false.
All right, so I'll give them about 15 more seconds. Looks like 44% of the attendees have voted.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, so 89% said false.
That is true. That is true. That is the correct answer. So that is what we think so too. Great job. And just to get into how we see it, and since 2005,
so it looks like you need to show. It's not showing your presentation. Let's see. You can just select show your screen again.
Yes, I'm gonna. Oops. Let me try it. Show. Yeah. Are you able to see it, Mary? Are you able to see it?
Yes, sir. If you'll just minimize your control panel, and then we'll be good to go.
Okay. Yes. So since 2005, as you know, basically Houston in Texas has been growing a lot. Since 2005, University of Houston, the gross square footage has been increasing. We have been adding more buildings on this campus. We have a Tier 1 initiative, a lot of research building, dorms have been increased. So our overall campus square footage went from 6 million, almost 7 million square feet in 2005 to about 12 million square feet in 2013. So that's a huge jump in the square footage. So we doubled our size. But along with that came the energy, and we had to find ways to make sure that we do not extensively use energy. So we have put in a lot of ways where we can actually reduce our energy utilization index, which is the energy used per square feet. And that's how we are able to, though our energy overall quantity is increasing, the intensity is less. The way we do it is pretty simple. You know, we think if we incorporate these things in our day-to-day operations, it's not that difficult. We have done facility energy audits. You know, we have engineers look at our buildings, you know, find out ways, tell us the low-hanging fruits that can be easily implemented, which are low-cost measures as well, like as simple as just shutting off equipment after hours, making sure the occupancy lighting sensors are in place, putting any high efficiency equipment. As we are doing our repairs, deferred maintenance, we make sure that the equipment that we put in, we vet it through our life cycle process, make sure that we are not just looking at the initial cost savings, but the life cycle cost savings as well. And these are just a few low-hanging fruits, but we have major activities also that we do that contribute to reducing our energy utilization index. We work with our electrical distributor and provider. That's been a great incentive for us, and it's also a partnership that has been built up over the years, because most of the time your electrical energy providers have incentives in place. They want to establish your collaboration and make sure that you are available. You know, they are able to partner with you to reduce the energy and be a sustainability partner along with contributing to their goals. So it's a combined effort. So time for the next quiz. The question we have is, solar panel efficiencies are more than 50%. True or false?
Let's give it about 15 more seconds. This is going to be a really close one. So 53% said true, 47% said false.
I know this is kind of a tricky question. It is. So thank you all for participating and giving your answers. But the real answer is false. It is counterintuitive because you think that solar technology over the years has been it's been so long that it's been in the market that you would expect it to have better efficiency, but it does not, and that's why solar energy is expensive, and you don't see as many solar plants. In fact, there may be more wind turbines that you may see popping up in your areas. For us, we actually went with solar plant. The building we are sitting in right now is all the offices are actually the energy for that is provided by 23% is provided by the solar panels that we have on our roof. And it's quite interesting. Again, we talk about how we collaborated and how we reached out. And this is the university is a perfect environment for us, where we have so many bright ideas. Students walking around our campuses. These are actually, if you intellectual, people who have brilliant ideas. So one of the students actually came to us into our administration and said, there is a solar grant available. Would you guys be interested in applying for it? I just came to know because my dad happens to work for this company, Green Mountain Energy. And we thought that is a great idea. So we said, yeah, we will definitely apply for it. The timing was perfect. Our solar central plant was actually being built during that time. So we had a construction team and a project manager already working on the chillers, which are high efficiency chillers that were being put in. And so we applied for the grant, and we got it. So we got the grant, which paid for 100% of the design and the installation of this project. We just had to hand it over to our project manager, who took it through to the finish, and without any hiccups, we had 100% paid solar panel installation on our building. This panel, this is not a huge unit. It's a small unit. It's about 16.32 kilowatt system, and it's intelligent, where it actually provides data on a day-to-day basis, and we have published this on our website. So now and this is like going back full circle. A student came up with the idea or presented to us. We built it. We established the website, and now the same website is being used in the colleges and the classes at University of Houston on their projects. So it's going back full circle and engaging the students again in this process. We actually also provide substation tours and center plant tours, which we take students to the roof. We show them how it works, and we engage them in this in an alternate energy source. So we not only take it and make it to our day-to-day use, but actually take it where people can learn from it. The next question is, power plants are most often designed for average demand load.
Okay, wait about 15 more seconds. Okay, so they say 76% said false.
That is correct. That is absolutely correct. As everybody knows, that is the case. Power plants have to be designed for a peak demand load and a little bit extra, because as you know, over the years, people use more energy, add more equipment, and over a time period, which nowadays is getting shorter and shorter, we get into these power crunches or energy crunches, where we don't have enough power to be for everybody to use. You end up having these brown outages, and then hope not, but we have seen in California there were blackouts, and entire buildings were shut off, and people had to pretty much lock up and close offices and go home. So after that, the government had taken a lot of initiatives saying that, plan this and told the energy providers to make sure that there are incentives for people to reduce energy, and have these programs published and available for everybody to use, and incentivize them. So state of Texas mandated that to the energy providers. These programs are available. They are on their websites. All you have to do is go and check it out and see how you can participate. We have been participating with our energy provider since 2008. The way this program works is that right during summer months, as you know, over here in Houston, Texas, it's very, very hot. Everybody turns on their ACs. We are crunch for power, and the first step is the energy providers ask the big consumers to reduce their load. The second step would be a brownout. Third would be a blackout. So their first step, we engage in that. They actually make it more financially beneficial for us by saying that for any kilowatt, every kilowatt you reduce, you drop the load, we will give you $40. That's a significant amount for us since in 2008, in 2009, we actually received $60,000 for this effort. So next year, they actually made it more stricter, and they added a requirement that as soon as they call, within 30 minutes, we have to drop the load. Now, the way we have been doing it, we are a university, and we are a research university with residents living on campus. We cannot really shed load, so we cannot just take a building and switch off power. The way we have done it is we start up our generators. We start up generators. There are two reasons. One is we contribute to the reducing the demand. But the second is we actually use this as our life test to test our generators, whether they are working the way they are supposed to work to provide power to the building in case of emergency. Because if you leave your generator sitting and don't ever work it, you never know when there is emergency whether it will start the way you wanted it to start and shed the load and actually provide power to the building. So we have done that since 2008, and for this quick response, we had to invest money. We had to put in $12,000, which at initial setting you would say, why do you invest money in something that you don't see a benefit? But we put in remote starting capabilities on our generators, which made it very easy for us. As soon as we get a call, we have 3 people who have access to this. It's very well controlled. We just hit a button and we start up our generator. Our technicians go around, make sure the buildings are okay. So last thing we want is to inconvenience any of our occupants and our tenants and the students because we are participating in energy reduction, to have any inconvenience to them. So our primary goal is still making sure that everybody on this campus gets the power and the facilities that they can grow and pursue their goals. With this, I will give it to Michael to talk about water, recycling, and all the other fun stuff that we have.
Okay, good morning and good afternoon to everybody. One of my favorite topics is water utilization on campus, and just like the Energy Utilization Index, we've calculated the amount of water that this campus has used over the past several years and compared it to the number of square feet. And when we do that and run a trend analysis, we can see that the trend is going downward. Okay. So for irrigation water, we have several sustainable landscape practices. We use drought-tolerant plants suitable for our climate here in Houston. We recycle the landscaping waste. We limit the water usage through irrigation runoff, and prevent overwatering. Undetected leaks and breaks in a system are considered emergencies, and we go about immediately repairing those. Watering when it's not needed is now going to be controlled by smart irrigation systems. So again, water leaks are treated as emergency repairs, and sensors measuring ground moisture help in reducing the watering frequency. We're installing irrigation meters and cooling tower evaporation meters to get those credits, which are substantial, and reduce sewage water charges. Okay, pop quiz. Moisture in the air can be added to cooling tower makeup water. True or false?
Let's give everyone about 15 more seconds. Okay, so they say 87% say true.
Well, those 87% did a good job. Okay, congratulations, 87%. Okay, so condensate water recovery. This is a neat topic. Traditionally, condensate water goes into the drainage system and is wasted forever. Well, I guess it goes to the sea, but no longer usable by us. So challenges to using this water normally are distances from the condensate drains to the point of reuse, routing through the building, and then the cost to install the recovery systems. At University of Houston, we have 3.5 miles of underground tunnels, and we've installed as a test, pilot again, a 4-inch recovery pipe into one of the tunnels. It's about 1,760 feet long, to recover the condensate water from the buildings. We found a used tank, a pump, and flow meter assembly, which we repurposed and is now pumping clean air conditioning condensate back into our cooling tower system at the central plant. Return on the investment is approximately 12 cents per square foot of air conditioned space. The payback for this initial installation is less than a year, and the initial cost was about $6 a foot in piping length. So far, we've saved about 1.25 million gallons of fresh water, which equates to about $11,000, almost $12,000 a year in city water savings. Now here's a fun one. This I really like. A student came to us last year, 2013, I think it was in February, and said, you know, if we installed water filling stations across campus, we would eliminate plastic bottles going into our waste stream. So we took that, and again, it's a student-sponsored idea. We started installing the water filling stations. We first installed 2 on March 15th, so we're coming up on our anniversary. And the cost of these stations installed was about $2,500 a station. We calculated the cost savings per year at about $5,000 by not purchasing bottled water. You can run through all the calculations, but if our pilot was to include about 35 stations initially. The unfortunate part about that number is that the project was so popular with the students, and the benefits to the students and the faculty and the staff is that they are saving money and they're happy when they're using these stations. We installed 2 more this week, so we now have 53 stations across campus. And that means that we're reducing all the plastics going into our trash and not ending up in our landfills. So if we reduce the greenhouse, if we projected the amount of greenhouse gas reduced in 1 year from the 51 locations, that's a total of 335 tons of greenhouse gas not being produced to manufacture all the bottles. Additionally, a little over 3 tons of plastic is not going into our campus waste stream. As you can see, and this is I'm very proud of the participation by the students and faculty and staff. But if you look at the number of stations installed from March 15th of 2013 through current day, you can see that the number of water bottles that we've saved across campus is over 308,000 bottles. Significant number. All right, the UH campus-wide recycling program was initiated in October 2008 with a target annual recycling rate of 40% or greater by 2020. In 2013, the university recycled 25% of its total waste stream by weight. All right, next pop quiz. Trash containers can send emails when full. True or false?
About 15 more seconds. Okay, so 78% said true.
Well, congratulations, 78%. Yay! Okay. All right, solid waste, Big Belly solar-powered compactor. I'm doing it. Okay, all right. Solid waste and recycling containers. Notice we have the University of Houston on there, we are UH, etc. In 2012, we installed 13 pilot units. These units were so successful that in 2013, we installed an additional 70 units across campus. Benefits for using these Big Bellies is the aesthetics. They look a lot better than all the trash cans that were of different sizes, types, colors, models, whatever. So each Big Belly is replacing 5 regular trash cans and 5 recycling units. So by doing the math, we take 5, or basically 10 times 83, and we eliminate 830 units and replace them with 83 units. So the campus looks much better like this, and the students are actually using these. Again, this was a student-sponsored idea. The unit informs via Wi-Fi email when it needs to be emptied. So that leads to reduced labor, fuel, etc. in the pickups. The cost savings in labor then is used to build the recycling program and to expand the recycling pickup on campus. So the units that we calculated the units have about a 1.8-year payback period, and the labor savings is reinvested in solidifying the recycling program. It increased the recycling, so now that increased recycling will generate more recycling revenue for the university. The cost of each of the solar-powered units is $7,083 each. Material savings, labor savings, a total savings of $39.16 per year per unit, which leads to that 1.8-year payback period. Now I'll turn this over to Samir for our conclusion.
All right, thank you, Michael. So as we heard from Avinash and Michael over here, that we have taken some small steps here at UH in the recent years. So there was no need for huge budgets. Of course, that would have helped, but we have been able to incorporate all that through the grants or through our own budgets, basically the operation and maintenance dollars. It is all through the basically empowerment of our own staff, incorporating in our own culture. It's just make it a way of life for our staff and our constituents. Collaboration with the energy providers. Now that's a big important one, as I mentioned earlier, that there is a lot of opportunities outside to be sought. Start with your local providers, perhaps the energy companies like we had luck with Green Mountain Energy. Retro commissioning, that's again, these are the small steps which we take address the low-hanging fruit, but again that's a good helpful way to gain momentum and confidence and pride by doing low-cost, no-cost projects and addressing all the low-hanging fruit. Condensate recovery, which Michael just explained. It may not be applicable for all areas, but again, for those of you who are familiar with Houston, we are in the hot and humid area over here, and again, we need to identify ways where we can make the best out of our local environment. It worked for us, may not work for all environments, but maybe there are some other measures which you could do in some other environments. Getting the stakeholders engaged and excited about sustainability is the key to its success. The excitement really goes a long way. Means people want, like Michael explained, they want to see more big bellies on campus for our trash and recycling. They want to have more water bottle refilling stations, and that has created so much excitement that we have been asked to do some articles for our local newspapers and the radio stations, and were recently selected by the City of Houston Mayor as a proud partner basically for the sustainability efforts. And finally, the staff development, program development, and community engagement. Identify and create champions to move forward your vision and goals. And all this has, as we explained earlier, it didn't come from the top down, it actually came from the bottom up. People in our organizations are coming up with ideas now and saying that, hey, can we look into these things, and perhaps I will be happy to work on something else, whatever their passions are driving them towards, and our expertise. So these are some of the conclusions as we conclude our presentation today. And with that said, here is one of the mantra basically which we are using. We want to become the benchmark for service, stewardship, and sustainability, the facilities management team at the University of Houston. And with that said, we'll go ahead and open it up for any question answers for myself, Avinash, or Michael.
Yeah, sure. So we have two so far. Someone has asked, does the university have an EUI for the water depicting amount of water per person per year?
We don't currently use that as a guide, but we can calculate that. That's correct.
We know how many students are enrolled, how much staff, faculty, and staff we have. So yeah, we can give that number. But that's a good question. Thank you. We can incorporate that, tracking that, because it's also important to know, as you're hinting, that to know just not by square footage, but by per person, how much is the water being used, and that is a good measure to track. Thank you.
And then another person said, would you share your sustainability strategic plan with the FMCC?
Absolutely, I will be happy to do that, and we have a sustainability profile which we like to call, and we will make it available to IFMA, through IFMA rather, with Mary and Val, and we'll be happy to share that information.
And actually, if you see this link on this slide, is where we have our sustainability profile. And it's available actually to anybody. If you go to this website, you can just download it. We are a public institution, and it's for everybody to use as they see fit.
Yeah, there is no password protection or anything. Yeah, and please note the link down there.
Yeah, and it will be available through the presentation through FMCC.
I do have an answer for the amount of water. On campus, we use on a yearly basis about 368 million gallons of water. Of that 368 million, 166 million is used in the central plant itself. So if we look at the number of students and faculty and just roughly say there's 50,000 here on campus, that comes out to about 7,360 gallons per person. And that's something that we can track and perhaps create a chart.
We will, and it will be our ongoing tracking measure that will be used. Any other questions?
Yes, sir. So we have another one. So any security issues with the big bellies?
No, actually, I was skeptical as you are with our big bellies, because I was thinking this is a 7,000 piece of equipment that's sitting outside a building. We even wanted them to be anchored to the concrete pads that they are sitting on, but they are 400 pounds a piece actually, because there are a lot of electronics in it. And actually, let me, if I can, actually I'll show you how it's used. Each big belly can be tracked where it is, and it actually has a website where we see. I even have a app on the phone where it shows you on the map where the big belly is. So you know at any given point where the big bellies are, and when they are full, it sends you an email. It is also color coded, which shows you, whether it's green, yellow, or red. But so far, no issues with security. In fact, we also move them around based on our waste management, true waste management concept over here. Because what happens is that, let's say you have one building and you estimate that this building needs maybe 4 trash cans and the other building needs just 1. But overall, let's say the traffic pattern changes, you got more people going to that building. Now you will know that based on the big belly's frequency and how many times they are getting full, we can actually just move that or increase the trash bins in that area. So yeah, I think if you have some time, I can change it and show you the screen. Mary, can I change my screen to show them?
Sure. Yep. And I have 2 other questions too.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead with the question till I change.
Okay, so the follow-up about the big bellies, Gus has said, my apologies, in New York City this would be a concern if someone would place bombs, etc., if someone could place bombs.
But that would apply to any trash bin, wouldn't it?
True. What's interesting is that the city of Philadelphia, as we found out when we visited there with IFMA, City of Philadelphia has the most number of big bellies of any city in the United States. And right behind that, so far, right behind that is the University of Houston with the total number of big bellies available in a specific area. The City of Houston is now going to adopt the big belly concept also. I understand the concern, but it's true. Any trash can could serve as a potential place for a bomb.
And right now I have I don't know if you see my screen. Merrick, can everybody see the website?
Yes, sir.
Okay. As you can see, this is the Big Belly website. It's once you get their units, you are able to see this. They give you the efficiency. Right now, our efficiency is 85%. That means we are not using our labor unnecessarily to just go and pick up waste when it's not full. The Big Belly shows us when they are full, and in this status report, which is again it's by location, and we know exactly where it is. They even have an app which you can have on your phone, which I carry, and I can be right anywhere, and I know exactly how many Big Belly bins are green are available, and which are yellow or red, and if they're red, they're available for to be picked up. So this has been really useful for us. We can know where they are. Our pickup crew has actually reduced from like 8 or 10 people to just one individual going around in his cart and picking up the solid waste.
When the Wi-Fi says, go pick me up.
Yep, go pick me up. And basically that's where we have found some of the labor which we are reinvesting now and trying to collect the recyclables from inside the buildings as well, not just exterior locations where we have.
Okay.
Mary, you had one more question?
Yeah, and then so speaking of, you talked about a smartphone app. Do you have any that inform the students of current campus energy usages?
No, right now we do not have that. Means we have the energy production. For example, the slide which Amina shared earlier about our solar panels which we have on the plant. So that data is available, but not for our energy efficiency. But again, that would be something which we are going to be building some of the dashboards for our organization, which will be sharing that information.
We are actually, our honors college at the university is collaborating with us on developing some apps on work management. They also had developed an app for UH. So That is, again, this app is just maintained by students at Computer Science Technology. So we, in future, these are one of our collaboration initiatives to have all this information, sustainability information, available to them, where they can just include it in the app, and it will be a good information for everybody.
Also at the central plant, we're not quite done with the central plant as far as the control systems and reporting systems are concerned. We have now started to close some of those loops, and probably by the middle of summer, I would imagine, we should be able to say or show on a screen that's being installed now, one of our windows of the central plant, some of the information about total energy usage that is going through this facility, period.
So we have another question from Catherine. She wants to know, are there separate big bellies for compost, recycle, and landfill separation?
No, we don't have that. Actually, all our big bellies are either solid waste or recycling, which is plastic, single-stream plastic bottles and aluminum cans. What we do, though, is we have our grounds and compost. All that is 100% recycled. All our dead trees, we use it for mulch, and any of the other green waste that we have, it goes into our compost. Actually, we have a dining area, dining facility on our campus that is 100% recycled. So any green vegetable waste, so like what you'd consider compostable, is the vegetable leftovers and all those things actually go into that compost that we use on our grounds and landscape areas. Big Belly doesn't have it, but I think there are many other ways that it can be done. But if you approach the company Big Belly, I'm pretty sure they may have a solution for that. And their website is and is very you can find it up, or if you want, we can engage you with that with our contact, who can help you with the compostable bins. Thank you, Catherine.
So we have a couple more minutes for questions. You can type them into the chat box. And if anyone does have any questions after the webinar, I'm sure the gentleman will be happy to answer the questions. You can email them to me, and then I can make sure I can forward it on, or their contact information will be in the presentation that will be available to all the attendees. And I'm not seeing any more questions, so I want to thank you all for joining us. And then once this webinar is over, if you'll take a moment to answer the brief survey at the conclusion. All right, and is there anything else that you gentlemen want to say before we end the webinar?
I would like to just thank IFMA and the FMCC group for engaging with us and giving us the opportunity to participate. We truly appreciate sharing our story with everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, FMCC. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Val. And thank you, everybody attending.
All right.
Thank you very much for listening to us and letting us tell our story. Thank you.